Hello, welcome back everybody. I am literally so freaking excited. Welcome back. This is a Chirping Bird. My name's Tal. For those of you who are new, I just did a little bit of a rebrand, or I've been working on rebranding the podcast, but I took a break for a couple months. I just didn't feel very creatively, in a podcast creative state of mind. So I needed to take a little bit of a break. And, it's just best to come back to projects when you're really feeling inspired and creative. So that is what I did. But here I am. I'm back now. I'm ready and better than ever to just really, take on podcasting again. I was really, really, really enjoying it, doing interviews with people. But I found that editing it when I had two people on was too much for me on top of all my videos that I was doing. So I enjoy doing the solo episodes a little bit more just with workload and everything. But this is basically the new rebrand and the return of the Chirping Bird. So welcome. So it is 2021, as you guys know, very exciting times. 2020 came to an end and everyone thought that, it was going to be this magical moment as soon as it was 2021, and everything that we were dealing with, all of our issues, were going to go away. And we really seem to think that 2021 was just going to start off better. But for a lot of people, it didn't, especially me, because I really just was having a kind of down January. It just didn't really feel like a new year to me. I mean, New Year's it just feels like an ordinary day to me. It doesn't really feel like anything special. But for some reason, I was like, this literally feels like December on repeat again. So I had no motivation. I didn't really want to do much. And also, I got sick. So basically, I'll go back to December. December was a busy month with Christmas and everything. I went away with Andre to this mini cabin in Mountain Grove, Ontario, which is a few hours away from Toronto, but it was this super cute tiny cabin, and we stayed there for a few days. Just really enjoyed kind of being out in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't any running water because it's winter and the pipes would have froze, so we had to bring our own water. Well, there was water there, but there was no running tap water. But in the summertime, they have a full kitchen with a running water sink and bathroom with a shower and a sink. So it's just a really cute, tiny home. And if you're looking for a really, just a very relaxing and, maybe if you want to get into your, inner state of relaxation and away from the city and stuff, I highly recommend these places. I will link the website that we booked it on in the description so you guys can find it. But we did that for a few days. After that, it was Christmas. I had a really nice, just relaxing Christmas. Didn't really do anything too crazy because that cabin gift was our Christmas gift to each other. So we didn't exchange big gifts. I got him filled a stocking or whatever, but nothing too crazy. So that was really nice. And then it was New Year's, obviously. So New Year's went off a little bit more unique than it has in the past couple of years. Basically, we had gone back to Andre's after Christmas, and he went to work for a few days, and there was an outbreak of COVID at his work. And obviously, because he was at work with these people, I got it. So I was actually really sick for the first week of January, had a fever, and was basically in bed all day every day for a week, which kind of sucked. But then after that, I just had sore throat, like cough and congestion. But I mean, it wasn't horrible. There's definitely so many just different cases and like scenarios that people have with COVID, and so many people have it off a lot worse than I definitely did and Andre definitely did. So I am so grateful that I, recovered from it very quickly, and I don't have any more symptoms now, which is really awesome. But I just am very, I guess, grateful is what I'm trying to say here. I'm just very grateful for, getting it and me getting it rather than my mom or my grandma getting it. So, I'm upset that it did happen. I had to quarantine for 2 weeks and it was miserable and I hated it. But and I'm so much more grateful that I got it and could recover from it than someone else who got it and couldn't recover from it. So that was basically January, or the first 2 weeks of January. And the last 2 weeks of January, I had no motivation. I think because December, I had taken most of the month off from doing like Arbonne, and I tried doing Vlogmas. I did it for like 2 weeks. And after that, I kind of fell off the wagon because I found it very difficult to balance that and like my mental health. So I took priority over my mental health, obviously, and stopped doing Vlogmas, but then got in this groove of like not posting and not filming. So coming back in January was really, really hard, and I didn't have a lot of motivation to film, and I didn't feel very creative. I felt very creatively dry, I guess you could say. So it just was a struggle to even get myself to film a video, and let alone edit and post it. So it was just a very slow and, I don't know, felt like frozen in time for the entire month of January. But then February hit and I'm like, you know what? I need to snap out of this. I am not sick anymore. I need to start working on my school. I need to start working on my YouTube again. I need to start working on my podcast. So I started thinking about ways that I could rebrand, and I just really thought about all the different goals that I could set for the next couple months. Just have like a 6-month-ish kind of goal setting plan situation happen, so that way I felt a little bit more motivated. So I thought I would share my like top 5 goals with you guys, because I thought it would be nice to have some sort of like accountability partner, or like not even partner, but I guess once I say it and put it out onto the internet, like I kind of have to hold up to that, because then it's out on the internet and like I can't, it's out there, like I'm manifesting it, so it's got to happen. But basically, I have 5 goals that I really wanted to start, especially in February, because I actually, which is one of my goals, but I actually started school. It's part-time. It's obviously at the University of Calgary. I've been doing courses there for a couple months now. I started in the summer, but I'm actually doing a program now. And I will be hopefully graduating by the end of the summer, which is really nice. And I am doing digital marketing, which is so much fun. I absolutely freaking love it. I don't even know how to describe like my passion for being on social media and like creating some sort of marketing plan and just marketing things in general, but doing it like obviously all online. I just really love it, and it just gets me so creative, and I just feel so or the ability to express my creativity, which is really awesome. So that is my first goal, is basically do school, graduate by the end of the summer, and come out of it with my certificate. It's obviously all university courses because it's at the University of Calgary, but I'm getting a certificate out of it, not a degree, because it is only January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, like 8 months long. So that is my first goal. My second goal is to get 10K on YouTube by July. I know that may seem like a huge stretch because I literally have like 300 subscribers right now. But honestly, I am so motivated by YouTube and like to succeed in it because I just love editing and getting those videos up and seeing the response to all of them. I know there's a few videos that have like done fairly well considering like my numbers and stuff. And those videos are like the most fun I've had editing and filming, and just uploading them. I felt so confident and like good about them. And in return, literally, they've done a lot better than other videos that I haven't felt as passionate about. So I believe that I will be able to hit 10K. I just need to start working and putting up content that I'm really happy with and that I'm really motivated to film and edit and just express my creativity through the editing process, because like that's kind of my forte-ish. I mean, like, obviously filming is a key part to it because like you got to show personality and stuff, but I really do enjoy the whole editing process behind my YouTube videos. I just find it very relaxing, and although it takes a long time and like sometimes I want to rip my eyes out of my head by the end of it, I just really do enjoy like that whole process. And you know, if you're a YouTuber that's hiring an editor, hit me up because I would love to do that. I just like enjoy putting my creativity into editing videos. So that's my second goal for like 6 months from now. Well, by July. So yeah, 6 months. So, the next thing, so number 3, is having my Arbonne promotion by the spring. So I'm so close to being promoted in the company, and I really, really, really am, you know, telling myself that I'm going to get it by the spring just because I know I'm so close and I know I can do it. I just need to dedicate my literal soul to working on myself and like working on my business a little bit more, because December and January I literally took a break and didn't really do much for it. And obviously it reflected I didn't make money because I didn't do anything. Like I literally did not touch anything to do with Arbonne for 2 months, which kind of sucked because I think about it. I'm like, you know what? If I actually worked for those 2 months, I would be 2 months ahead from where I am right now. And maybe I would have gotten my promotion now instead of 2 months from now. Anyways, that is my goal for the springtime, is to move up. The fourth thing that I really want to work on is my self-improvement, self-development, and just really building my spirituality with my like mind state and using my crystals in just a very, I don't know, just a very intellectual way, and really getting in touch with myself. I really want to learn more about my brain and like different things that I'm feeling that I may not be able to realize or think about right now. I really want to just get in touch with myself and be very spiritually connected with my entire body and soul. So I actually started my very own like crystal journey, which I will be filming a video at some point on it. But I have started, you know, working on meditating. I know it can be difficult to go from knowing absolutely nothing to wanting to become like a witch or whatever. But I really want to just embrace like the whole spiritual journey with it, and, you know, really working on manifestations and affirmations and just putting in positive energy and, you know, working with the law of attraction to improve my life and improve my mentality of living and improve my mental state. So I really, really, really want to keep working on that and just become more in touch with my inner soul, I guess you could say. But that's my fourth goal, and I want to be able to really like increase my learning in the next couple months, just because I obviously I'm going to be learning about it forever, but I do really want to take an increase in my learning in the next couple months. So that way I have like a good foundation of stuff and I can start working on my mindset and working on my life with crystals and with positive energy and stuff. And, the faster I learn about those core like base things, base, I guess, activities or principles to the whole positive affirmations and law of attraction and, connecting with yourself spiritually and connecting with your soul, then the faster I'll be able to, actually get somewhere with my body and my mind. So that is something that I really want to start working on in my goal. And then the last one is, obviously I talked about this a little bit, but my podcast rebrand/reboot, basically just putting out episodes every single week. I really did enjoy just sitting down and talking. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like talking to my friends. Like it honestly is. It's like talking to friends, but not having to worry about like keeping a conversation with people. Like you are the conversation. I don't know if that's kind of weird, but I just really enjoy just talking. Sometimes random nonsense comes out of my mouth, and when I'm editing or like listening to it back, because I don't really edit my podcast that much, but when I'm listening to it back, I'm like, what am I saying? I go off on these random tangents and half of it doesn't make sense, so I have to edit out like 30 minutes because I just sit there talking about like God knows what. But that is just something that I really want to, do and work on more because the podcast does feel so good. I feel like so relieved after. It's honestly like therapy. So if I'm working on putting out a podcast every single week, I can't even imagine how much more relieved and how much therapy I'm getting out of just posting an episode, which also, by the way, I am now available on Spotify. You're probably listening to this either on my YouTube channel or Spotify. So definitely, if you haven't checked me out, I think I'm also on Apple Music. I'll have to double check with that, but I am definitely on Spotify. So that's really exciting because I love putting on a podcast episode and just driving or listening to a podcast episode on a run or on a walk, and something where I don't need to like pull up my computer and open up YouTube. So having this flexibility of like being on another platform where people can download my episodes and actually listen to it whenever and wherever they want is really freaking cool. And I can't even believe that it took me this long to figure out how to upload on Spotify, but we are here now and I'm very hyped. So definitely check me out. Follow the Chirping Bird on Spotify. Anyways, I also really wanted to talk about my top 10 February favorites. I always used to film top 10 favorites of the month videos for my YouTube channel, and they didn't do overly well, probably because it was like a year ago when I was filming these videos, and it just like I wasn't as comfortable with the camera as I am now, and definitely not easily, I wasn't speaking as easy as I am now as well. So I thought instead of doing a video on it, I may as well just talk about it in my podcast, because like it's a very audible thing. It's not very a visual, I guess, concept. So I definitely thought I would talk about it on my podcast since it is February 26th. It's February 26th right now, so it's the end of February. So I wanted to do a recap. But the top one thing that I'm like totally, or should I go with 10 down to 1? Maybe I'll do that. Okay. So the 10th thing that I'm really obsessed with comes with no surprise, obviously, but it's podcasts. I adore listening to podcasts. I listen to them when I'm working out. I listen to them when I'm going on a run, on a walk, cooking, cleaning, whatever. I just love listening to podcasts. I don't know what it is about it. It's almost like having someone in the house with me. And and I'm like having this almost conversation with someone, or like someone is there keeping me company. I don't know if that's weird and if other people do the same thing, but I literally listen to podcasts especially when I'm alone and I need like someone talking to me so I don't feel so alone. But I think my top podcast that I've been loving recently, Crime Junkie, obviously. I am literally a number one Crime Junkie fan. I absolutely love true crime, even though it does give me some anxiety sometimes. Some episodes I can't listen to because I'm like, this is going to happen to me. Like, if I'm listening to it, I'm manifesting it into my life. And like, this is what's going to happen. And it gives me like anxiety when I leave the house. So some of those episodes I can't listen to, but a lot of them I do, and I download them and I listen to them when I'm on a run, which is probably not smart. Like, you should be listening to them when you're in a car or when you're at home with like a locked door, rather than out and about when some axe murderer can come up behind you and slice your head open. But definitely my top podcast that I love. Next, Pretty Basic by Alicia Marie and Remy Cruz. Absolutely freaking adore that podcast. Is just like literally girl chat. Like, it's like girl gossip. I just feel like I'm talking with my best friends, even though I'm not talking. I don't know. I just get like giggles out of it, and it's really fun to listen to. So highly recommend that if you're like looking for a girly, gossipier podcast to listen to. And I really like listening to them when I go on a run. So, rather than Crime Junkie, I mean, I still listen to Crime Junkie when I go on runs, but if I'm being more reasonable and sensible, then Pretty Basic is like the best thing to listen to when I'm out. The next one, now I recently just got into this a couple days ago, but I thought it was worth talking about. It's Frenemies. Now, I know you all are probably like, why? Why are you listening to freaking Trish Paytas? But I just get a good laugh out of that podcast. Some of it can be a little bit boring, but I listen to it like when I'm doing things again, and it's, if I just want a little laugh, I mean, not a little, I'm like laughing the entire time, because like some of the things that come out of the two mouths of, I think, okay, his name's Ethan, I don't know his last name, Ethan something, and Trish Paytas, but I literally am dying when I listen to that podcast. I just find it so funny. So definitely a good one to listen to if you want to hear like stupidity. But then the last one that I was really into in like January and the beginning of February, but I kind of stopped listening to it just because when I'm at home with my mom, it's probably not the most appropriate podcast to be listening to with my mom and like my brother and my sister around, and you've probably already guessed it, but Call Her Daddy. That is just something that is explicitly listened to when I'm at Andre's, just because it's a little bit, I guess, R-rated. So I, can't really be listening to that on my phone or like on my speaker when I'm at my mom's. So that is the 4 top podcasts that I really, really like. And that is like number 10 on my top 10 list. The next one, number 9, is spicy Mexican candy. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm salivating from saying that. I had seen a video on YouTube, like a YouTuber trying it out. This was like months ago, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, and I was like, oh my god, that's like kind of smart, and I would kind of really like to try that because I do like spicy food. And I kind of forgot about it, and then I had a dream about it one night, and I woke up and I'm like, that's it, like I have to make it. If I'm dreaming about it, like I have to make it. And I have no idea where it came from because I watched that video months ago, and I guess it just kind of stuck in my head subconsciously. And one night I just, decided to bring it up and have a dream about it. So literally that day I was running around the city trying to find the 2 main ingredients. Unfortunately, they didn't have the mango flavor powder thing. So I had to use it with just the no, don't bash me for saying this, but the chamoy, or chamoy, and then I forget the other one. I forget, it's like some seasoning salt. I literally forget what it is because I made it like 2 weeks ago, and I can't remember the names because I used the whole bottle. So that is like something that I really, really, really was enjoying like eating, because I'm not a huge candy fan just if it's plain, but I found with this spicy like powder and flavor to it, it just really elevated the taste and the level that candy is at. It honestly made me like candy for a hot second. So that is something that, like, if you haven't tried it, definitely either you can buy it on Etsy, or there's probably a lot of stores in the States obviously that have it, but in Canada, I don't know if there'd be anything other than Etsy really, but where you can buy it. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, please, like, because I would love to help out a small business and buy some, because my batch was like, didn't look as good as professional ones when I was looking on Etsy. So let me know if there's like a small Canadian business that I can buy that from. But definitely, if you guys are looking for a different way to like consume your candy, go for this, because you will not regret it. The number 8 is my Kindle. So in January, or maybe it was February. No, it was January. I got my very first Kindle. I know I'm very late to the game because Kindles literally came out when I was maybe 12 or 13. No, maybe 12. So I'm quite late to the game, I know, but I was really, really enjoying reading self-help books and personal development books. But the problem is books are so motherfucking expensive, and I really didn't want to have to buy all this paper and spend a lot of money on books that I'm only going to read like twice. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should invest in a Kindle, and then that way all the books that I can get are usually free on Amazon, because like a lot of the personal development books are free or cheap. So I found one on Kijiji, and I got it for legit $40. Amazing quality, like it's literally like brand new. It's a few generations older, but honestly, it does the job perfectly. I've been reading about like meditation, self-improvement. I've also been reading some digital marketing books, which is amazing. So I just really feel like that is another way that I'm working on my mental state and like my self-improvement, is by reading. And I never really used to be a reader, but I think once you find a genre that you're really interested in and passionate about, it is so much easier to read about it. I started with the book Miracle Morning, and I had actually heard about it from Melissa, who we did an episode with her back in May of 2020. So, like 9 months ago. But I literally read it in the summertime, absolutely, or was it in the fall? Maybe it was the fall. Fell in love with it. And now I'm obsessed with reading about self-help and like personal development books. So that was number 8. Number 7 is, believe it or not, it's a Netflix series. I never really was into Netflix for like the past 5 years. I've always been watching YouTube videos. I live on YouTube. But I really got into the Superstore. I think it was like on the top charts for Canada or whatever. And Andre and I started watching it, and we literally would binge watch for like 5 hours straight. We would watch the Superstore. It is honestly an obsession, but it is such dry, stupid humor that it is hilarious. Like, it is literally so freaking funny. I'm cracking up the entire time. So I definitely think if you're looking for kind of like a slower moving comedy show, definitely recommend this. It's hilarious. But that is number 7 on my list. Number 6 is, and I talked about this earlier, crystals and my manifestation. So recently I got into it at the end of January, and I really just tried to take on the whole mindset and like spirituality surrounding manifestation and law of attraction and positivity. And, I just want to become a witch. So I really got into learning about crystals and like learning about the different types of crystals that are available and, their healing powers and like their healing energies and stuff. So I got 5 crystals to start with, and I'll make a whole video about it because I feel like it's worth a whole video or like maybe a whole podcast episode. But I will do I'll probably do a podcast episode on it because I feel like it's definitely a visual thing, or not a visual thing, an audible thing. So, I got 5 crystals to start, and I've really just been trying to meditate every week, light sage and cleanse my room, cleanse my house, just really focus on keeping that positive energy in my life rather than, toxic energy with toxic people, and making sure that I only keep positive people and positive emotions and positive vibrations in my life. So that way I don't carry around those negative things. Okay, so number 5 is actually a small YouTuber. I think she has over 100K on Instagram, but she's only got like 3 or 4K on YouTube, and I really, really enjoy her Instagram because it's all fashion, but her name's Louisa, now I'm going to say this wrong, Louisa Poise. I don't know if that's her last name, like said correctly, but she is all about fashion, and she does all these cool fashion reels and fashion posts and stuff, and I've just been like really inspired by what she's putting out onto the internet, and I don't want to say like copying her because like that's not, but I'm definitely taking a lot of inspiration from her posts and from her content that she's creating. And I really am starting to fall in love with like the whole fashion creation process and really trying to transform my Instagram into something that I'm having the ability to, project my creativity through, and not with just crafts. And I want to be able to, have these really unique and creative outfits and, just be creative in that sense, because I feel like I'm very creative with my hands when it comes to like crafts or when it comes to editing, but I never really was creative with the way I dressed and the way I presented myself. But I thought, one day I was like, this would actually be so cool because it's just another way to express your creativity. So I really started to get into that, and I definitely take a lot of inspiration from her. She just has such good sense of fashion and style, and just very creative with it all, which I'm so freaking in love with. And then that can go into like my number 4. So that would be sewing. And I know you're probably like, what the heck? Like, you're not a grandma, like stop sewing, like that's just, no, you're not a retired person with nothing else to do. Not saying that retired people have nothing else to do, but like just really enjoy, as I said, I really enjoy the creativity process behind like doing crafts and editing and through fashion and stuff. And sewing is literally like a combination of the crafts and the fashion, because what I'm doing is I'm creating like personalized purses and handbags and then personalized clothes. Like I'm literally sewing a pair of pants right now. Those patchwork pants that you can buy for like $80-$90 on Princess Polly or something, I am making them for like nothing. So that's really nice. I just took old pants, cut them up into squares, and I'm putting it together. So I cannot wait for my pants to be done. It's probably going to take me like another week because I'm just kind of slow at it. And I've got other things going on, obviously. So that is just like something that I've really been enjoying, is sewing and like putting in my creativity into actually making clothes that I can wear and like accessories like purses and whatnot. And it's just gives me the ability to create these things, but also add my personality to it. So instead of, going on to Princess Polly or like White Fox, I mean, love those stores. Like they're absolutely, the stuff that they come out with is amazing. But there's something different when you actually get to create your own clothes. Like it's literally taking your personality and putting it into a clothing article. It's insane, this feeling and like this empowerment that you get even when you wear it, and just like the feeling of how proud you are to wear something that you actually made is so incredible. I can't even explain it. So that is definitely my on my top favorites for February, because that's something I've been doing nonstop for, well, December, January, February, kind of like my 2 months off. I just spent time making clothes. And I've really been working on finishing up some of the projects I've started in February. So number 3, I had to throw this in here because I thought it literally is like worth talking about so much. I had actually been seeing a lot of people with weighted blankets on like YouTube, and a lot of people talking about it that, deal with anxiety and have anxiety, and how it has really helped them feel protected and more safe, and just, I don't know, really gives you a sense of comfort when you are feeling very anxious. So I started doing research on it, and the problem is weighted blankets are very expensive for a blanket. Like, you may think, oh my God, like a blanket, $20, whatever, from Target or like Walmart or something. But weighted blankets actually cost so much. So I was really hesitant about getting one. I didn't really want to put in that much money to it because I thought, like, what if I don't like it? What if it doesn't work for me? And I had just kind of postponed it, put it on the back burner, didn't stop thinking about it, but it wasn't front and center in my mind anymore. But then Boxing Day came around, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to check out Boxing Day sales for weighted blankets, because this actually might be the best day to get one. And sure enough, one was on sale for $75, which is like amazing for a weighted blanket, because I don't know if anyone else is like, looking at the prices of weighted blankets, they're like $250 if you want a good one. Obviously, this one's like not top of the line, like regular price, $300, $400. Like regular price was like $150 or something. But this was literally on sale for $75 for Boxing Day. And I was like, oh my God, getting it right now. This is like my Christmas gift to myself. I have to get this. And I am, no joke, using it every single day. Every single goddamn day, I wrap myself up in that blanket at night, and I feel so relaxed. I don't know what it is about it, but it just makes me feel like so much more protected, so much safer, and I bring it with me wherever I go. Like if I'm going to Andre's for a week, I bring it with me. That's how insane I am with this blanket. Like, I'm attached to it. I wear it when I'm walking around the house like a cape. It's heavy. It's a 15-pound one, I think, and it's heavy if you're, walking around with it like a cape, like, most normal people do with their blankets. But this thing is literally a lifesaver. Highly recommend it. I will link it down below if they still have it. And I just, if you're really looking for a nice quality blanket, quality weighted blanket, definitely invest in one, because you will thank yourself later. Like, honestly, you will thank yourself later. Number 2 on my top 10 February favorites is my Levi Jeans. Now, I have a few pairs of them. I have never paid full price for them. So before you think I'm like bougie and buying Levi Jeans 24/7, I'm not. I have never paid full price for a pair of Levi's. I legit just go to thrift stores and buy them. So the one pair that I have is, I believe it's actually a men's pair, but like, screw it, I wear it, and they fit really well around like my legs. It's just big on the waist because my thighs are not in correlation with my waist. Like, they do not talk to each other. So everything that I find that fits my thighs don't fit my waist. Like, it's always too big for my waist, which I guess is like a nice thing. Love those jeans. Like, they're so comfortable. They just really work well with my thighs. I also have another pair that I got from the thrift store, which fit me around the waist. They're a little bit tight on the thighs, not gonna lie, but they just, like, I don't know, they make you look good in all the right places. Like, I just have so many good things to say about them. I just feel that they're definitely worth investing in at least one pair if you're looking to get like a good quality pair of jeans. So I recommend, especially if you're going to go try and find them in a thrift store. So that was number 2. But number 1 on my top favorites is my Instagram reels. I have legit, you guys, been making reels nonstop. I don't know what it is about it, but I just feel like it's so incredible to make these like short videos. I know it's literally TikTok, but on Instagram. But I don't know what it is. It's just like this feeling of having the ability to express even more of my creativity through content and not have to worry about like filming a 30-minute video and then editing it for 8 hours. So it just feels like it's a lot easier and it's just a lot more fun to create. And I really do enjoy making them more than YouTube videos right now. I don't know what it is. I think it's probably just because it's new. Because definitely when I started YouTube, I was like, oh my God, this is literally the best thing. Like, I love making YouTube videos. And like, don't get me wrong, I literally love making YouTube videos, but making reels right now is like my passion. It's my calling in life. So that is like definitely number 1 on my top favorites for the month of February, I have to say. I just feel like there's so many different ways to express your creativity, and I don't know, it's just a really fun environment to be on. But that's basically my top 10 favorites for the month of February. But I think that's kind of like everything I wanted to cover in this episode. It was more of like where I'm at, what's happened the past couple months, like a little catch up, return to the podcast world type of episode. And I think I covered all of that. I mean, my podcast I'm going to be trying to upload once a week. So it's going to be a little bit more consistent. I'm also trying to do a little bit of rebrand on Instagram. So if you haven't checked it out already, definitely do so. If you're not already subscribed to my YouTube, please do so. My goal for the end of March is to be at 400 subscribers. So I know I can do it. I just need everyone watching and listening to these podcast episodes and videos to subscribe, because that would mean the world to me. But I really hope that everyone enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys want to hear like a specific podcast episode. And I will try and cater to that. I will try and do whatever you guys are interested in. Ask me questions, whatever you want me to answer. I could always do like a question Q&A little segment at like the end of my podcast episodes or at the beginning of them or whatever. So just let me know if there's any like things you want me to talk about, because I will definitely take everything into consideration and try and fit everything onto this podcast. But thank you for sticking around and not leaving me while I took a little bit of a hiatus from recording, just because of my mental state and like my creativity, I guess, thought. So thank you for staying and, supporting me in a weird time. But enjoy the day whenever you're listening to this, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.